Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here. And before I go into my questioning, I just wanted to correct some of the statements made by one of my colleagues from across the aisle. First of all, for those who are reporters here, the reason why some Republicans didn't support the PACT Act, and I say this as a veteran and the wife of a combat wounded veteran in Afghanistan, that when you are using veterans, especially with burn pits, and then you stick $400 billion in unnecessary spending so you can get your pet projects paid for, we are not going to support that, and we do not advise using veterans to get your pet projects paid for. So that's the first thing. Second thing, Mr. Garcia had annotated earlier that this is a very complicated issue. Obviously, the entire region of Afghanistan has been destabilized, and it is known as the graveyard of empire. So there's a big foreign policy issue that we have in this country, and I do believe that this administration is unqualified and intentionally doing the wrong thing because, in my opinion, they are trying to empower China, and I will go to the grave with that one. But to further why we are here today, I believe that the military as a whole is suffering from people that have been put in charge and do not truly understand the culture of the military, and thus they have implemented policy that is not enabling our warfighters to do their jobs. War is not fun. I would never advocate for it. But when you have people that are on the ground, specifically with what happened in Afghanistan, they need to be trusted to do the right thing, and therefore the red tape has to be cut. My question is for Mr. Sopko. You know, I heard a testimony from a previous committee that had a young Marine sniper that had said that he was not authorized to take the shot that could have prevented the suicide bomber from detonating that, and thus saving the lives of the 13 killed, 170 civilians, and then the 45 wounded service members. Has anything been changed with the laws of armed conflict and or memorandums from the DoD to enable, whether it's team sergeants and special operations communities, whether it is people who are at the lowest level of leadership, to authorize those military officials to do their jobs?
I'm not able to answer that because I am not the DoD IG. I think you should ask Mr. Storch.
But after okay, Mr. Storch, would you be able to answer that question? Has anything been done in regards to the law of armed conflict or memorandum down to allow lower levels of leadership, to include team sergeants of special operations communities and or the acting commanders in some of these units that go out to do their jobs, to make those decisions where they're not looking at necessarily, I guess from my opinion, getting in trouble for doing the right thing and protecting their guys?
So I'm honestly not aware of the answer to your question. I'd be happy to have my folks look into it and get back to you.
Okay.
I will say we have done work looking at the law of war and the need for updating of the policies. Whether that goes to your question, I don't honestly know the answer, but we'll check into it.
We need to empower our warfighters to do their jobs, and that means that we have to trust them to make those difficult decisions in those horrific times. The reason why I'm so impassioned about this topic is behind me you'll see a picture of Staff Sergeant Ryan Christian Canals. He was actually one of the 13 that was killed in Afghanistan, and his mother lives in my district back home. And although I was not a member of Congress at the time, within 24 hours of finding out that he had been killed, I actually called his mom. And I had to make that phone call, and as a member now, I'm sure any representative who has had to do that, that is one of the hardest phone calls you will have to make, to hear the heartbreak in a parent's voice for losing a child. And when you sit here and you hear how this administration handled it, I don't know if you are aware of this, but President Biden, after seeing his mom at a memorial for this, his first statement to her name's Paula, was, I can understand if you're angry, but then declined to hug the actual mother, of which she responded, this could and should have never happened. What has this administration done to really help the families heal after the fact? Because the fact is that had that Marine Corps sniper been authorized to take that shot, this might not have happened the way that it did. There's a lot of obviously drops in regards to foreign policy, but I want to know, now that that is done, what is the administration doing to allow this family and these families to have closure? Any of you?
I could just say that's not something we've done any work on. I appreciate the question.
Are you guys in correspondence or actively talking to any of the family members in regards to your report?
The oversight that we've done wouldn't call on us to contact the family members, so I think the answer is no.
Would you be willing to if they reached out? Because I can tell you that my office spoke with about seven of those family members, and I think that they would like to get some answers.
So we're always happy to talk to people and to hear from them, and if there are issues to be addressed, we'll look into addressing them.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Chairman, I yield my time.